The Buffalo Bills, I don't think things are looking good up there in Buffalo, man. This has been a Super Bowl favorite for the past couple of years. And going into this season, I think there's a good chance that we may start to see Buffalo trend in the wrong direction. They missed a good opportunity to win the Super Bowl. Over the last couple of years, the AFC East was down. You look at how good the Miami Dolphins are going into this season. The New York Jets traded for Aaron Rodgers, and the New England Patriots are a team that nobody should sleep on this year. The AFC East is as tough as it's ever been since Buffalo has become the team that they've became a couple of years ago, being front runners to win the AFC. And over the last 2 years, the Buffalo Bills have missed a great opportunity to take advantage of a weak division in the conference where they were the second best team right behind Kansas City. And Buffalo, with the fact that they've underperformed in the postseason, the rest of the division has started to catch up to them. You got other franchises in the AFC who have now found the answer at quarterback, such as the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the AFC is home to the majority of the NFL's best quarterbacks. And for the Buffalo Bills, you look at where they rank in a lot of people's eyes when it comes to their chances of being able to make it to the Super Bowl this year. Not too many people are picking the Buffalo Bills to win the AFC. Many people think that the Miami Dolphins, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Baltimore Ravens have better odds at making it to the Super Bowl and making it out of the AFC and being able to dethrone Kansas City compared to Buffalo. And for the Buffalo Bills, a large reason why I'm starting to feel like they are trending in the wrong direction is because of this Stefon Diggs situation. Stefon Diggs, he didn't practice the first day of minicamp, and then they canceled the final minicamp practice. It's just a weird situation, and the last time we saw Stefon Diggs on the field, he was blowing up at Josh Allen on the sidelines and their divisional round loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. And this is just a weird situation. He is one of the highest paid receivers in the game. Rumors are saying that he wants a bigger role in the offense, even though he's been one of the most targeted players in the NFL ever since he got traded to the Buffalo Bills. It's like Stefon Diggs is not a championship player. And I don't mean that from a talent standpoint. Stefon Diggs is one of the best receivers in the game, but when it comes to his character and his ego, this is not the kind of guy that you want on your team when you have goals and aspirations of trying to win a championship. To win a championship, it has to be one team, one goal. You have to leave your ego at the door and sacrifice for the betterment of the team. And Stefon Diggs, with this ongoing situation that he's having with the Buffalo Bills, it doesn't look like he's willing to put his ego aside. Yeah, he cares about winning, but it seems like he only cares about winning as long as he's the beneficiary of it. You were targeted 10 times in the loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, RG3 came out recently on the Rich Eisen show, because him and Stefon Diggs have the same agent, for those of you guys who don't know. So maybe RG3 knows some behind the scenes details that me and you don't. But apparently Stefon Diggs felt like he should have been a little bit more involved during one of the last drives of the game, one of the more critical drives of the game. And here's my thing, like, even if that is the problem, Stefon Diggs was still targeted 10 times. Like, Josh Allen just can't force feed him the football. And me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I can relate to having this kind of player on your team and what it's like being a fan supporting a team that has one of these kinds of players that's mega talented, but is a huge ego in the locker room, because we had Antonio Brown, and you saw how off the chains Antonio Brown was with the whole Instagram, Facebook Live that he had, catching Mike Tomlin saying some things that kind of made people look at Mike Tomlin a little bit sideways. And then you had people looking at Antonio Brown really bad after that situation. You cannot win the championship when you have guys like Stefon Diggs on your team. Not only are they a problem in your locker room because their egos make them want to have a bigger impact than what they already have, but on top of that, they start to become a distraction. And for Josh Allen, all this is going to do is put him in a situation where he's going to want to coddle Stefon Diggs and want to try to appease Stefon Diggs and start to force feed him the football. Maybe that was the reason why we started to see Josh Allen have the turnover issues that he did last season. This is not good for the Buffalo Bills. And Sean McDermott even said that he was really concerned when the whole Stefon Diggs situation started to occur and he didn't show up in practice for the first day of minicamp. He was really concerned. And if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you should be really concerned about this situation also. And when you have this kind of prima donna in the locker room, it doesn't help you win championships. Teams that win championships like Kansas City, you don't have egos. Players leave their egos outside and compromise for the betterment of the team. Everybody knows their roles and everybody is okay with their roles and everybody executes their roles at a high level. It's not about how many targets you feel you should get. It's about how many targets are going to help the team. How many times should you get targeted to put the team in a better situation to win the game or make it to the Super Bowl? The Buffalo Bills, they're not in a good space right now. Not just the Stefon Diggs tripping with his ego and the fact that he wants more say in the offense. Like, bro, you are a wide receiver. What say do you need in play calling? All you need to do is get open, create separation, catch the football, and score touchdowns. You're not the quarterback. You don't need say in play calling because the only thing you're going to do with that is abuse that power and try to get you more touches, which you already get a lot of. Not just do you have to deal with Stefon Diggs' ego, but ever since the departure of Brian Daboll, Josh Allen has become a turnover machine. Josh Allen is super reckless with the football, especially when the Buffalo Bills have huge leads in games. They nearly lost the wild card round game to the Miami Dolphins when they had Skylar Thompson as their quarterback in that game. Once Buffalo got up, Josh Allen somewhat semi-destructed on himself. He was turning the football over and kept the Miami Dolphins in the ball game. You want to know why Joe Burrow has been able to make it so far in the postseason? Because he takes care of the football. He doesn't make mistakes too often. Quarterbacks that make it far and have the most success in the NFL aren't just talented, but they also take care of the football. Even Patrick Mahomes, even though he plays a lot of backyard football and he can get a little bit careless at times, he doesn't have too many costly mistakes in the postseason. In the postseason, mistakes are magnified. You can't turn the football over at the rate that Josh Allen has. Josh Allen has over 31 turnovers in big games that the Buffalo Bills have played in. That's not good. That's not winning football. That's not championship football. The key to winning in football games is not just scoring a lot of points, but it's also making sure that you take care of the football. And then what about this defense? This defense, every time they go to the playoffs, they don't show up. I'm not going to hold their Cincinnati loss against them because the offense didn't do them no favors, but the last 2 times they matched up against Kansas City, that defense was awful. And you can blame it on Leslie Frazier all you want to, but Sean McDermott deserves a good amount of the blame, and he deserves a good amount of blame for why the Buffalo Bills are in the state that they're in right now. I remember back in 2019 when everybody was sleeping on the Bills before the Buffalo Bills became the media giant that everybody knows them as right now in the football world. Back then in 2019, nobody was talking about Buffalo. Buffalo was an under the radar team. I remember I made my video saying why the Buffalo Bills would be the biggest sleeper team going into the 2019 NFL season, and it's one of my most viewed videos to this day. They had no egos on that team. Nobody knew about them. They didn't have all the media attention. They didn't have all the hype surrounding them. And then they get Stefon Diggs and they start having this success and people start viewing them as perennial Super Bowl favorites to make it out of the AFC. And ever since, they have not been able to live up to those expectations. And you got to wonder if the Buffalo Bills are ever going to have another opportunity like the ones they've had the last couple of years to make it out of the AFC again. This is the toughest that this division has been in years. All four of these teams could have a good chance of making it to the postseason this year. And the Buffalo Bills, we don't even know if they're the best team in this division anymore. Miami has a really good roster. The New York Jets have a really good roster. And New England is a way better team this year than what they were when the Buffalo Bills slaughtered them in the wild card round of the playoffs, Mac Jones' rookie season. The Bills are not headed in the right direction. When you have the kind of locker room distractions like what Stefon Diggs has become, that holds you back. That holds the team back. Everybody has to be on the same page. Championship teams don't have too many egos. At least egos that say, hey, I need more touches. I need more balls thrown my way. They have players that come in willing to sacrifice, willing to do whatever it takes, willing to compromise for the betterment of the team. And you got to look at yourself if you're the Buffalo Bills front office, and maybe you have to look at Stefon Diggs and sit him aside and say, hey, Stefon, do you want to be a member of the Buffalo Bills or not? Because we can trade you to somebody else if you want to get more touches and you want to get force feed the football, because there are plenty of other teams that will be more than happy to have Stefon Diggs. Having a player with Stefon Diggs' ego does not equate to winning championships. Championship football teams don't have egotistical players on their team, or at least if they do, they're willing to compromise and set their egos aside so they can win championships because they're doing what's in the best interest of the team. And what Stefon Diggs is doing right now is not in the best interest of the Buffalo Bills, but in the best interest of Stefon Diggs. Sean McDermott doesn't even know what the hell is going on right now. The Buffalo Bills went from the media darling Cinderella team that everybody loved, that everybody was rooting for now, to a team that's starting to get passed over and overlooked for other teams in the division like the Miami Dolphins and the New York Jets. The New York Jets and the Miami Dolphins may have some big egos on their squad, such as Tyreek Hill with the Dolphins and Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets, but they don't have nobody that's selfish and has an ego that's detrimental to the success of the team. Having a wide receiver like Stefon Diggs that wants the football every play does not help out a guy like Josh Allen, who's going to be more than willing to force feed him the football to appease him. Sean McDermott and the Buffalo Bills organization need to get ahead of this Stefon Diggs fiasco before it gets into the regular season and it becomes a melting pot and it causes the Buffalo Bills to implode. These are the kind of players that you don't have on the championship caliber football team. Championship caliber football teams all have players that are willing to compromise and do what it takes to win. And Stefon Diggs, you got to ask him, is he that kind of player? We know how good he is, but is he the kind of player that's willing to do whatever it takes to win and not do whatever it takes to keep him happy?